Hello, everybody. Welcome to Space Zambonie. It's the month of heat. It's so hot.
It's nice.
It's really hot, but I'm used to it.
Yeah. So today we have a very special guest. First off, thank you, Burgeritas, for being a super sponsor. Much love to you guys.
We love you.
Today we have a very special guest, Alicia.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to meet you. My name is Alicia Munian. I'm a psychic and mentor, and I also do marketing things, and I'm just so excited to be here with the Space Zambonie family once again.
Yeah, as she said, she's actually been on here before.
Yep.
When we were doing our big Thankmas live stream, it was a big charity event.
It was awesome.
We had Alicia come on, and she did readings for both me and Matt. And she did a little meditation.
Yeah,
thing for
that
us.
was nice. The guided meditation,
Yeah.
with the drum.
So sweet.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then we actually did that other thing too for COVID
Yes.
in India.
Yeah.
And then we did like that whole thing
That's
where
true.
there was like marshmallows and
Yeah.
a
Yep,
dress.
Yeah, and the hot sauce shots. Or something.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had you on a few times, but thank you for coming back. I want people to get to know who you are and like what your whole energy is.
Yeah, so I'm so grateful to be here once again, like I said. So I've been having psychic experiences my entire life since I was younger, and when I experienced these things, a lot of the times I was invalidated. People would tell me that that couldn't be a real experience and that, you know, that wasn't real. And I really felt with all of my soul that my experiences were real.
Yeah.
And eventually, over time, as I grew up and started to dive into those experiences, I actually met mentors who were able to kind of connect me to my own psychic power within myself. And that was such a powerful and profound journey. And through that, I was able to heal this depression that I had within me because I really felt like ostracized in a lot of ways. I was like bullied growing up and things like that. And I was just really different. But as I began to really take ownership of who I was and find my community and find other psychics and other people who are kind of like into these stuff, I realized that this is a real experience that people have.
Yeah, I grew up with my mom having a lot of experiences, actually.
Wow, that's
She was,
amazing.
yeah, she was very in tune with stuff, and she'd be on the nose with like a lot of different people. She'd be like, this person's feeling this. She's had like out-of-body experiences. She's been very like predicted world events without even knowing.
Yeah.
Like even COVID, she's like, I had this weird sensation, like people cleaning, I don't know why. And like, so she's always had like that side of it too. So I'm always interested to hear other people who tune into that. When you were young, like what was that experience like? What did you feel? Or
Yeah, so when I was younger, I used to see actual figures in my room.
oh wow.
Whoa.
And when I was about the age of 4 years old, this is the most significant figure that I remember. I remember that there would be a butcher. And a lot of people get scared when they hear that, but I actually wasn't scared of him.
Yeah.
And I would say at 4 years old to my mom, like, hey, Mom, like, the butcher is here, like,
my
in my
God.
room. And she would tell me not to speak to it and to push it away.
Yeah.
And I remembered, like 4 or 5, like he kept coming back, and then eventually, like after people kept telling me to push it away, to let it go, like eventually it disappeared. But a few years later, when I was around the age of 7 years old or 8 years old, my neighbor was moving out, and we were helping her to move some boxes out of her house. When we went over, she was basically just reflecting on her life in Elmont and just, you know, like telling us stuff that she remembered, like growing up there in that house, like she was there her entire life.
Yeah.
And she said to us, I remember before you guys moved in, the butcher used to live at your house.
That's wild. Yeah.
And I remember just the look on my mom's face. I was still young at the time, but I remembered that feeling. And it was like this feeling of validation and connection
God.
that was so powerful. And actually, as I grew up, I found out that my mom had her own psychic experiences, but she was actually scared of some of the experiences that she had because she grew up across the street from a graveyard in Guyana.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That must have been wild.
And then in the house
Oh
that
my
the
God.
butcher used to be in.
Yeah.
Bro.
She's seeing like 1,000 people every day.
Yeah, exactly. So my
Yeah.
mom would tell me, like, while she was going to sleep, sometimes she would see like different orbs of light by the graveyard, and there's been moments where she looked outside her window and she literally saw people's faces.
Jeez, that's creepy.
Yes. And then she also remembered, like, when her grandmother passed away, she remembered clearly, like, seeing her spirit standing at the foot of her bed before she even knew that she passed
That happened to my mom with her grandma.
Wow, that's so powerful.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
When you saw the figure of the butcher, was it like a shadow figure, or were you like, I could see the apron, I could see the cleaver? Like,
when I was younger, it was like, I feel like I saw them more clearly than I see them now.
Okay.
It was like, I saw the outline
sense.
of him, and then I knew that he was a butcher, you know? And I literally saw it, like, manifest in front of me in such a strong way.
Yeah.
And I remembered, like, seeing the apron as well. But now when I see spirits, it's very much of a different experience. Like, because the whole thing is that I shut down my gift, as a lot of psychics do, because of their fear.
Yeah.
And like when I was in high school, I really like shut it all down, and I was really depressed and really went inward, and that prevented experiences from happening. But as I reawakened and started to experience again, the way that I see them now is more like a shadow figure. Like I can't really see who they are per se, but actually what happens when I give people readings is I'll start to see things like in the back of my mind.
Okay.
And like, for example, like I tell you guys, imagine a beach. Like imagine you're at a beautiful beach. Like someplace in your mind, you see that beach, even though it's not in front of you, right?
Picture, yeah.
So the way that the psychic reading works is I open up that place in my mind. I try to stay as clear and as neutral as possible. And then I'll start to see different images that connect to this spirit.
So you're like a cooler version of 11 from Stranger Things.
That's actually so funny because I relate a lot to 11
Well,
from
there you
Stranger Things in some ways.
Yeah, got like
but-
that mind space of the emptiness and try to see what fills it.
Exactly. And the meditation is a huge part. And it's so funny because I actually used to go to sensory deprivation tanks in Patchogue at the float place. And I've had experiences in there as well that helped me to clear out my traumas. Because at first, when I started to go into these states, there was just so much trauma, just like 11.
Yeah.
Like she had to work through all of those traumas before she could fully access her own power. Yeah.
So I have to ask, because I talk about it so much on this podcast. You ever see a shadow figure with a hat?
Oh, the man with the hat? I know him.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Is he chill?
So a lot of people, it's so interesting because like when I started reawakening, I was on like a lot of Reddit boards and things like that. And I was like a huge like into Reddit and stuff like that. And I started sort of diving into that rabbit hole. And there's so many people that have seen this figure. And it's so funny because when I was reawakening, like around the time that I was like 20 years old, I was trying to astral project. And this is the experience that a lot of people actually see him. And the thing is, like, I feel like he's like a gatekeeper in a way, you know? People call him like the man with the hat. And it's just so funny because even before, like, I really, like, knew anything about him, I wasn't even thinking, you know, about his presence or anything like that. I had this experience. Then I went on the Reddit boards and I saw all of those, you know, posts about him. And I was like, this is an actual legitimate guy.
That's what happened to me. I had the sleep paralysis and I saw
the man with the hat.
Yeah, and he walked up to the side of the bed and then a mirror fell. And like I was able to snap out of it, and it was weird. It was just a really weird experience.
Yeah.
But I did the same. I was like, it's like Hat Man, shadow figure.
Hat Man, please save me. It's so funny because I don't know, when I tapped into his energy, I felt like he was more like a gatekeeper, you know? I don't really feel like he's anything negative. I feel like he's extremely neutral, and he's almost like, hey, are you ready for this experience right now? You know? And I feel like he kind of shows into up in awareness in that way. And I've had other friends in the psychic community as well that have come into contact with this figure. So it's just so interesting.
So he's more of like the ghost of Christmas present.
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to take you on the guide. Are you good?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yes. But I do believe that there are negative beings and positive beings, you know, out there in the universe. And one of the most important things to keep in mind if you're diving into this work or you're interested is that as a living being, you have autonomy over any experience. And that's something to always remember, because sometimes there can be frightening experiences, but always remembering your power, that you have the ultimate protection and you have the ultimate say over what's happening. Like, you can always bring yourself back.
So from your standpoint, what was... have you ever had like a fully frightening experience?
Oh, yeah. Actually, recently I had a really frightening experience.
Oh, jeez.
I've had several in my life, to be honest.
Okay.
And like when I was younger, the negative experiences would happen more frequently. And I feel like because I was still healing, a lot of the times these negative entities, they feed off of your negative energy. So if you're in this place of depression and you're somehow open and connected to the spiritual world, like, you're going to get a lot of negative entities that attach itself through sleep paralysis too, like, is a gateway that a lot of people experience. But as I learned how to sort of develop and take, better care of myself spiritually, which includes cleansings. And, after I have an intense session of just like, making sure I release any energy, I've had like a lot less negative experiences. But actually recently, so have you guys seen the last episode of Stranger Things?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So it's so wild, because this was literally one of the most trippy experiences that I had.
I'm ready.
I was like sleeping in my bed and I woke up and I just remembered feeling this intense negative feeling around me. And I was actually, right now I'm living at home with my mom, and I was sleeping in her room because she's the only room with the AC on. And I was like, it was so hot. It was one of those days where it's like 99 degrees. Even though I live in Costa Rica, it was like just so hot. I was like, I have to sleep in there. So I was sleeping in my mom's room, and I remembered waking up and feeling this intense negative feeling like around me. And I kept hearing like these negative thoughts in the back of my head. And that's sometimes how I receive spirit communication. And it was like telling me like all of these things. And it was like, you're not doing good work, like you're evil, like all of these things. And like, I remembered like, as I was getting up, my hands and my feet started hurting so much, like really intensely. And then I literally hear in the back of my head, we have control over your body. And I was like, what is this? Like, what am I experiencing? And I try to like breathe through it and things like that.
It's like they plugged in. They're like,
Yeah.
we got you.
Like the Matrix.
Wait a sec.
And then like I walked over to my room, which was like across the hall from my mom's room, and I kind of closed her door. And I just was like, okay, let me be with this experience. And I turned on all of the lights, because in my mom's room it was completely dark. I turned on all of the lights, and I felt it like easing up as I turned on the lights. And I was like, okay, that's good. Let me keep like breathing through it. And I still felt this intense pain on my arms and my legs. And I went to open my Instagram to kind of like ground myself. I was like, I just can't like just be alone in my mind right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And the first image that I see is one of my friends with their arm like completely broken.
Whoa.
And I
put that on Instagram.
yeah.
Jeez, ow.
Yeah, and I remembered seeing that. And then this voice in the back of my head was like basically like, I am the darkest part of humanity. Like, I am in the minds of the depressed, and like saying all this stuff. Like, I am part of COVID. Like, I am the fear that runs us, and something like that. And it was just really dark. And I remembered like feeling the feelings on my arms and my legs, and then I was actually thinking of Vecna.
I was about to say the same thing.
That's
I was about to be
exactly what it
Vecna,
felt like.
get out of here.
You know what's crazy? I literally like started feeling like I needed to play music on my phone, and I started playing music, and this thing like started to ease up. And I had to literally like, it was like literally like a mental battle in my mind, where it was like telling me all these dark things, and like I was like, no, I'm fine, everything's okay. And I was listening to the music, listening to my favorite songs, and actually I almost went to go wake up my mom to like kind of help me to breathe through this experience. And then I literally, as I walked to her door, I just saw all darkness, and it was just like, your mom is dead.
Oof.
And
Whoa.
it was just like so dark. And then when I finally was able to breathe through it all, like, and I let it go, like, this was actually as the sun was coming up, like, as the sun came up was like as I finished like taking care of whatever this was, and I got the sage out and I cleansed myself and everything. And then it was like I heard like an angelic voice actually that was like, remember, you're always protected. You are more than capable of beating these things. You have control over your mind. And it was such a deep, profound and powerful experience that I actually only shared with one person, but this was, I guess, the space to share it in,
that's wild. Did that voice come in at like the witching hour or something?
It was. Literally, I woke up at 3:00 in the morning, and that's when wild, it came in. And then it was so wild because like I remembered looking at my time, and then there was this one moment where I felt completely at peace and completely okay, and it was literally 444. So I felt like an angel came in to help me in this experience, and it was so powerful.
The moment I would, in my head, if I was like, oh crap, this reminds me of Vecna, I would be like, Kate Bush. I'd be like blasting it. Like, Mom, you're waking up now.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't even realize what it was, but like when I was in that state, like just like how Max was in that state, it's like hard, like you have a recognition that you're in it, but then there's also like this battle, like, is this really happening to me? Am I just in my head? So I was like kind of battling it, but it was literally this place of just like fear, and it was just wild that I literally felt the pain in my arms and my legs without even like thinking about that. And it was probably like a month and a half to 2 months after seeing Stranger Things, you know? So I wasn't like, I just saw it like the night before, you know?
About it,
but what's crazy about that is like that's how people in depression feel. It's like you're so tuned into that like negative feeling and that depression that it's the same kind of way where like you have that filter over you. You're like, I can't go to people, I can't talk to people.
It's like a tunnel.
Yeah. It's like that's darkness of. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So, what do you tell someone? First, I was going to ask about sage, but you touched on that. I was going to say, sage do anything?
Yes.
Okay.
It does. You know what's funny? There's actually been scientific studies about sage that show that they actually remove dust particles in the air.
Oh, wow.
And so it's literally showing that scientifically there's something taking place on some level.
Yeah.
You know, and also on the spiritual level, like whenever I have a negative experience, like always when I bring out the sage, like they tend to go away.
Oh, yeah, we do the same. We break out the sage. We're like, after we did that first ghost hunt.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of
that was it.
After that ghost hunt.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Matt had a few people had like weird experiences when they came home.
Like I was followed home.
Wow.
He felt like he was.
I
felt like every time I had my back turned, it just felt like I was being watched when I was in the house.
Okay.
It was really weird.
That's exactly what the feeling is. Like how you notice the presence of a spirit, and I've been asked this multiple times before, is that you'll literally feel like, you know, a feeling when someone stands right behind you. You can feel their energy. You could feel something about their presence, and especially when it's a negative spirit, it'll feel like kind of like cold darkness
it makes your
behind
hair
you.
like stand up. It feels like
I always get that feeling. Always. Not always negative, not the but like always have that feeling of like
it's probably your spirit guides.
We good? So,
that's good.
and you even had you slept here for like several days to try to like we saged the house up and down. And our friend Justin, he got home, he saw like this green light going around the room.
Yeah, like a laser
like
light.
An orb?
Yeah.
That is powerful. Actually, when I went to Ohika Castle, I literally saw an orb there that was going across too.
Yeah, that place I
heard that's really haunted, Ohika.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be someplace we check out.
It would be awesome. I just got people to email me. I just need them to email me back. That's it. I'll go anywhere.
Well, I think technically maybe we could go without it being a thing. Who knows?
Well, yeah.
But I guess.
Yeah.
I'm actually friends with the owner, Gary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I don't know how he like.
Be like, hey, Gare Bear. I got some guys.
He knows that I'm into this stuff. He's always like, "Ooh, you're the woo woo." Like I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
So we like goof around, but when we do the
we got like super serious.
Oh no, 100%.
Super respectful, super.
That's so good.
Because like the last thing we want is anything to think we're coming in there being like, "Hey, F you." It's like no.
Exactly. You're just like trying to show evidence, you know, which is really good.
Yeah,
his brother got good evidence because he was a law instigator of the spirit realm.
My brother.
Yeah, he was.
This guy.
Yeah.
So we're driving home, and he's like, we're talking about like antagonizing stuff. We're like, we're so respectful, and he just goes like very quietly. He's like, I think I may have said like one time something that may be like antagonizing towards it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay. So we get home, we're like, footage. We got to check the footage and see all this stuff. And he was like super antagonistic towards it for like a long...
And saying to use his energy and everything.
Yeah, he's like, take my energy, use me.
Yeah,
and
but he didn't remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
He's like, I didn't remember saying it as
more
much
than once.
as it showed up. And when I came down, I go, hey, what flashlight were you using like down here? He's like, I wasn't using anything. And the whole clip he was using a flashlight. Yeah. Wow. So he didn't even remember the light.
He was just probably like channeling in the moment.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Yeah, as well.
He was just like
drinking.
Another thing where it's like absorbed by the darkness, not even realizing you had a light.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like that's crazy.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. So I told him, I'm like, you got possessed. You're not coming.
You did.
Can't go.
Yes, when we go on our experience, it'll be very positive. Very, hello, Mr. Spirit. Casper, is that you?
So when did you start realizing like you wanted to channel spirits and stuff compared to like actually both spirits and like doing readings on people?
So I would say like when I started working with my mentors is when I really started to recognize the power and the gifts that I had. And it's something that takes a long time to really fully develop, and I was really naturally good at it. And I was in a class with multiple people, and I would immediately pick up on stuff before other people and things like that. And I just realized that this was like a deeper calling for me, you know. And I had two different mentors. One taught me how to communicate with spirits, and one taught me more like how to channel them, which is two different experiences. And I feel like learning from both mentors really helped me to develop myself like spiritually in my own way and like find my own connection.
When you meet someone, do you get like an initial like feeling or energy off of them, or do you try to hold that off until you like?
I usually like honestly just try to close it off for the most part, like in a regular day to day, because I don't want to come across like, ooh, I see you, like you know. But sometimes like I will get like negative vibes from a person, and I'm just like, all right, I'll see you later.
Aww. Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, there's definitely people like that.
Oh my god,
definitely.
Yeah. I forgot there was this one time. I think it was me, Matt, and Ray, and we were talking to someone, and the conversation got like very.
Was
intimate.
that when we were pineapples?
No.
A different person?
No, it's a different time. We're at a kava bar.
Oh,
and we're talking.
Was it Island Kava?
Yeah.
I go there all the time.
Yeah, because Paul invited us out.
Oh, that's so great.
And we were talking to someone, and we were having a great conversation. And she says, like, it's kind of weird because it like feels like somehow, even though all this is going on, like this is the only conversation that's like being had. And I understood it. I was like, oh, I get that. Like, it's kind of like everything's being blocked off.
Yeah.
But I forgot if it was you or Ray that was like, nah. It's just like, there's plenty going on. It's so loud in here.
That's so funny.
It was so funny. Because I was like, yeah, I understand. I get it. And you're like, no. It's like, okay, so maybe a more exclusive conversation.
That's so funny. I feel like the thing is, like, a lot of, like, spirituality and what we're experiencing is so subjective. Like, everyone could be having an entirely different experience with the same thing that's happening, you know? And it's like, because of all of our different perspectives, like we all have different experiences. And I think that's an important thing to remember, is that spiritual experiences are so subjective that I can describe to you what I've experienced. He could describe what he's experienced, and he could describe what he experienced, but it's all different, you know?
Yeah, no, big time. So if someone comes up to you and they tell you like, oh, it's all bullshit, like you don't know what you're talking about, like what's your response to them?
Yeah, I would say exactly that. It's like usually you have to experience it in order to believe it.
Yeah.
And you can't even perceive what it's like until you have something that happens to you, you know? And there's been so many non-believers that have come to me and other psychics who finally had that one piece that helped them to connect and have that little sense of belief. But like, also to recognize that everyone's experience is so different that what you think it is might be different than how it actually is, you know?
Yeah. So my thing, when we did the ghost hunt, it was very similar because we went in there with like...
Yeah, we were always interested. We always thought it's a fun thing to think about, I think. You know, we always like watching ghost shows, and some of the stuff, it's like, oh, well, this seems a little far-fetched. But in the experience, it's like, no, a lot of this stuff is really believable.
Like,
and then going through the stuff that we found, it was like, all right, yeah, ghost dude.
That's what it was. Yeah, it's like, we left, me and Matt at least, we left there 100% being like...
Oh, yeah, once we left, I was like, this is real.
This is all real.
After the first night,
I literally,
like
I felt like Han Solo. I say it all the time. I felt like Han Solo. I'm like, it's real. All of it.
Especially when Tony was getting that reading on that beam, that solid wood beam, where the EMF reader went off, and it was like, there was no electricity running through it at all. Yeah, and then it disappeared.
That we had like the end segment where we're doing like the spirit box and everything, and even on the camera, like you have to focus. You like it tracks a face.
Wow.
And it tracked just
an orb
in the corner, like in the corner. And it was like there for a while, and then it came down. And in that room, we were having experience after experience.
Yeah.
So we left there. We're like, okay. And then we did the footage and even more. So when people were like, oh, you know, like I don't feel it. I'm like, you have to like, I say, go do an investigation with us. Seriously, come on one. And then see if you experience something. Because once you do, you're like, oh, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
There's something there.
We're going to go to a quick ad break. But when we come back, we're going to talk more. Pretty much about the stuff we've been talking about.
Oh,
so.
Yay. And some surprises.
Whoa.
Maybe some Kingdom Hearts 3 might come out. Who knows?
See you guys in a bit.
Oh, see you in a bit. Bye.
Yay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very untraditional ad break. I'm here to talk to you about something very special in my eyes, the Ghost Stop. The Ghost Stop is the one-stop place for you to get ghost hunting equipment and everything related to the paranormal. You want some EVPs? Get some from the Ghost Shop. You want some EMF readings? Get some from the Ghost Shop. Has everything. Has every single thing you need. Check it out. Go to SpaceZambonie.com/ghoststop and find all your ghost hunting needs. Also, are you in the mood to spice up your love life? Then do me a favor and go to the Bunny Shop. I literally can't show you anything for the Bunny Shop on YouTube, or this whole entire video will get delisted and demonetized. So do me a favor, go to SpaceZambonie.com/bunny shop and check out our coupon code SpaceZambonie for a percentage off your order. You're gonna love it, and you're really gonna love the way you get intimate. Anyway, I gotta go back to the podcast. I'm literally doing this as I'm editing. See you guys in a bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the ad break. More than likely, we did the Ghost Stop because that makes so much sense.
Oh, my God.
If any podcast is the one to do it, it's this one. But if we did the Bunny Shop, I swear to God.
That's what I was like, how funny would it be to be the Bunny Shop?
Raise energy in the Bunny Shop.
Oh.
So we're here talking about spirituality, talking about all these different aspects of things. I want to say, too, like, and speaking for everyone here, be as open as you want with us. And, like, if you want to do whatever, if you feel like you want to do a reading or whatever, all you. I want you to feel as open and comfortable as possible. I don't want you to feel like I got to block it off. Or,
I'm enjoying myself. This has been a really good discussion so far. And we even brought Vecna into it.
Yeah. So that is an aspect of yourself that people don't like see all the time.
Definitely. And I think one thing too with that experience is like, someone might say like, I only had that experience because I watched that show.
Yeah.
But I think one thing to realize too is that a lot of the things that we manifest are from what we see, you know? So we create these figures into our reality in different ways, you know? And the same thing with positive things. It's like if you think of the highest potential of what like life could be, you know, and like think about, all right, this is my dream life. For example, like I literally dreamed of having a house in Costa Rica since I was younger, you know, and in meditation, like I literally saw this house with white curtains coming down the side of it, like near the beach and everything. And this is something that I would go back to in my meditation. And in November 2019, I was with my mom in Costa Rica, and I was like, oh, let's just look at houses. And I didn't think at the time that I could actually get one. And when we were looking at the houses, I remembered seeing this one house, and it had the curtains coming down the side. And it was exactly the house that I saw in my meditation, and I didn't even know that it existed.
Wow. I'm going to manifest us visiting you in that house.
Oh my God, yeah!
And chilling in Costa Rica. Yeah. I'm going to manifest the crap out of that.
Yeah, so
Chilling.
I ended up buying that house in Costa Rica, partly thanks to Ethereum, invest in cryptocurrency.
Oh, wow.
So it was due to numerous manifestations that helped me along that journey, and really just believing in myself. And the intention of that house was to hold like one-on-one retreats for women there. Men are allowed sometimes.
All good.
But you're like, well, we'll come down. We'll bring our own Space Zambonie vibe down there.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Space Zambonie retreat in Costa Rica coming soon. But so I ended up like doing like different sort of like day retreats for women with just local women there. Then I started doing one-on-one retreats with people who came from New York all the way down there. And then now I'm doing actually larger retreats, and then we're launching like the next retreat, which is going to be in March, with several different women. And they're all different women from New York who have kind of grown and developed themselves in a similar way, that are spiritually in tune in a different way. And we're just going to be holding space for other girls to really explore their own intuitive abilities and step into their power.
That's awesome.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's really cool for people to go and experience and do that stuff.
And have somebody else that that already has gone through all these experiences in the past and everything, and have gotten as far as you have so far and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And in terms like what you were saying before too, in terms of like manifestation and like things being out there, it's like if everyone could be miles and miles apart on different pieces of land and everyone still comes up with music.
Yes.
It's like, that's fascinating.
Exactly.
Everyone still comes up with like their own instruments, their own music, and
with
like
fire, like stuff like that. It's so wild.
It's like all these different cultures can still come up with similar stuff. It's like,
It's interesting. I was watching this documentary, and it was about like, researching the different ancient writings, and in almost every single ancient writing, there's like stuff about aliens in them too.
We were talking about that with the Egyptians, that they had like hieroglyphs of helicopters and stuff like that.
last episode.
Yeah. And there was even like Da Vinci, I think, painted like a spaceship in one of his, or probably a couple of his paintings. But it's wild. It's just like,
but
all right.
Even in the Aztec civilizations, the Mayan civilizations, like all throughout the world, and they had no way of communicating with each other. And I don't know if you guys actually know this, but in Africa, there was this tribe. It's called the Dogon Tribe. And I suggest that you guys research this later too, but there's this incredible story about how the Dogon tribe, they were completely remote in Africa, and they actually had a map of the star system, and they were invaded by the French. And when the French came and they saw the map of the star system, they said, how did you know about all of this? And they said that they told them.
Wow.
And in the map of the star system, there was this one star, and it's called Sirius. And on the Sirius star, they drew a smaller star next to it, and they said that there's something next to it, Sirius B. But at the time, the French telescopes were not yet advanced enough to see anything next to it, and they said, no, you're wrong, this map is wrong. But years later, they found out the Dogon tribe was actually right, and that there was a smaller star next to there the entire time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I could believe aliens.
I
can believe it.
Yeah, big time.
Like, seriously, it's not far-fetched. This world is so big, the planet, like
the universe
expanding and all. It's something else is out there.
Some of the creatures they say that have developed on Earth probably came from like a meteorite that crashed into the water, and from the bacteria evolved into like an octopus or something like that, or a lobster. I mean, ocean life is very alien looking when you look at them.
That's true. It's what we depict aliens as, the big head.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who made you? Like even like a zebra, like all the crazy, like it's like,
that's true.
who made you?
The world is so different.
Random.
filled with a lot of different animals, creatures. Yeah, it's weird.
But it's so beautiful. And especially when you see the images of that new telescope, the J-Webb telescope.
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's amazing.
It
Yeah.
really expands our outlook of the universe.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just go look all the way. I can't even see down the street. I'm like, what does that sign say? We have telescopes say. Yeah, we're looking a million billion years in the past. I'm like, okay. It's like, cool.
And it's just so interesting. I used to watch this movie. It was called Contact. And in the movie, like, she has this quote, and it's like, if we truly are alone in this universe, it seems like an awful waste of space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
So.
Yeah.
What's crazy is, like, I'm doing a degree in, like, metaphysics. So,
Oh, you are? That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I'm super fascinated by, like, the universe and stuff like that. Just as much as you can go out, it's crazy how much you could go in.
in a
because it's
minuscule
folding
level.
on it. So.
Yeah. It's like if you're an atom and then subparticles and all that stuff, it's like the fact that there's other people is probably the most craziest thing, right?
There's actually this video game that you should check out. It's like an experimental, like, indie video game. It's called Everything. And are you guys familiar with Alan Watts?
That name doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, he's like a philosopher, and he talks a lot about the universe, and he has all these speeches.
Yeah.
When you listen to him, you'll probably, like, say, like, oh, I've heard something from him before. He's just, like, one of those guys. He's, like, on all these, like, TikTok videos and stuff like that now, but he actually died in 1970, though, but his speeches are amazing.
Yeah. Still,
But this video game is actually, like, with all of his speeches about the universe and the cosmos and things like that. And in the video game, it's just, like, purely an explorative video game where you can go and stretch out as far as the universe as you want.
Whoa.
And then you can also go in
Whoa.
and then go down to a microscopic level, and then your consciousness can move amongst all of these different
Whoa.
beings.
That's
it's so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
You
that
definitely
sounds
have to
sick.
check it out.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
People come up with the coolest things. It's crazy.
I feel like Alan Watts is the guy that they use a lot of clippings for the band Starfucker.
What?
Yeah, there's a band that I don't know if it's him. I feel like
Yeah.
I remember
But they use,
looking-
like-
but they
probably.
use like clips of his speeches, and
Yes,
he's
a
got like
lot of
this
people
accent, and yeah,
Yes, that's
Yeah.
him.
and he's like, yeah,
That's
it's like
him.
got this accent, and then there's these particles, and then these particles.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
him. Yeah,
If you
it's
listen to
amazing.
that's great. It's awesome. Some
called
of the songs,
Starfucker?
Yeah, that's the band's actual name. It's an acronym.
Really classy.
It's STRFKR, but that's how you pronounce
yeah.
it.
I love
But-
it. That's
yeah.
so great.
What's their genre?
They're like they were around the time where I discovered MGMT. Not like found the
Oh, I
band. I'm like,
love
oh my god, I need you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Huh.
my favorite. But yeah,
That's amazing.
once I heard them, I was
That's
like, oh,
interesting.
this fits my vibe. I love
Yeah.
it.
It sounds like a comedy group.
No, it really does. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
they're
crazy.
pretty good. Yeah, I love
That
their
makes sense.
music.
When you
That's
said the name
amazing.
instantly, I was like,
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
it's like Weird Al too.
A lot of people take Alan Watts' speeches and they make it into music, and it's so funny because he, in his speeches, talk about music being the highest vibration of the universe. And it's so funny, even going back to the Vecna thing, like, music is the thing that kind of grounds you, that saves you, that protects you, you know? It's really powerful.
That's so funny.
And a lot of times you find people that you talk to, they like similar music, and
Yeah.
that's how you like. Oh,
It's
you
like
listen to
an
this?
energetic, it's
Yeah.
literally a frequency, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh my god, I love the guy on TikTok that does the "We Are Energetically Aligned" videos. Have you seen
Oh,
this?
the guy with the hat
Yes!
on? Yes.
my God, I love that guy.
He's so great.
If you are watching this, we are energetically aligned. I was like, yeah, we are.
You're like, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, how's
Like,
it going?
Tell me more about the universe.
So you weren't when in terms of the psychic stuff, weren't you like rated a certain way that's like super high, or I forgot how it was.
Oh, yeah. So, well, I basically was on the list of best psychics in Long Island by Bethpage.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and which was super cool. Yay!
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, it's been such an incredible ride, and like now I've given readings to over 200 people.
Wow, that's
Whoa.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so incredible, and I feel like every reading is so different, and it's such a beautiful, amazing experience.
Yeah.
Did you ever do like any of those psychic fairs? Like I think it's at the Hilton over off of
I have.
Oh, that's so wild.
Yeah.
Because my father and his girlfriend used to frequent there,
Oh,
so I don't know if
really?
they ever
That's
ran
so
into
funny. It's
That would be
possible.
amazing.
That's so funny. I actually did one recently where I was like
wow.
speaking on this panel. And it was there like at the Hilton too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Do you feel like there are people that go into the field just to like milk the field?
That's what a lot
Teresa
of people
Caputo?
say, you know, and I think that there are people who are genuine that sometimes get absorbed by the money and they make that the main thing. Like, I think that person that you mentioned
Yeah.
is also, you know, kind of like that. Where, like, I believe that she is a true medium and has a strong ability, but there is this aspect of
She
the
gets sucked into
entertainment
the
as
fame.
well, you know? And I think that for me, it's so important to stay grounded in my genuine connection and why I'm doing this. And I always love to volunteer or give back in some way. And I truly believe that I'm like serving spirit in different ways by doing this. And I do take this work very seriously.
We're not paying you to be here. in short, she didn't come here for a check. Absolutely free. The only thing I gave her was water.
Yeah.
This pink cup too.
Yeah.
To match my eyeliner. So funny.
So what's cool about you too is that you have like two different aspects. You have like this psychic medium stuff, and then you have like you're a gamer.
Yeah,
Oh,
big time.
yeah.
Which is nuts.
Well, I actually wanted to mention that too. I'm so glad you brought it up. We
No.
were probably mind jamming. I was like, bring up that I'm a gamer.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Like we said, we did a stream with her where we played Pokken.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
and you demolished
and I
us.
destroyed.
Yeah, you did.
It's so
Yeah.
funny because I replayed that clip because I had 1 HP left and you had like 500 and you had Charizard and I had this little fire being and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna beat him. Like even though I only had 1 HP left
got
and
whooped.
I did.
I got whooped several times.
Just at the last, you were very good though.
Thank you.
were
Thank
very
you. First
good.
time playing. So
Yes, exactly. I played a few times before,
Yeah.
so I had a little bit of an advantage.
long
but-
time watcher, first time caller.
but I needed it.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I just actually finished Kingdom Hearts 3. I know it's been a while since it came out.
Love that game.
But I've been traveling a lot. I didn't have the opportunity to just like be in one place. And before I dive into video game, I like to make sure that I'm like in a place where I can dedicate that time to it because it's such an immersive experience, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
especially for something with a detailed storyline like that, you know? So it was finally the time. Kingdom Hearts 3 ready, and it was just for me, I grew up with Kingdom Hearts, you know, and it was a huge part of my spiritual awakening because I had the opportunity, you know, when we're playing video games to kind of like tap into these different worlds, like almost like the multiverse, you know? I believe with our human minds that we are the key to the multiverse, which is like us literally creating these different universes, which is what the metaverse is, you know? And, for me to dive in when I was younger, I started to recognize different things. I was like, oh, I'm playing a different character in this reality, but I feel like I'm part of this reality. And it kind of made my mind go through this like little loop. And I was like, oh, like, who am I? Am I just playing a character here in this reality? And I just, you know, from a very young age was like questioning things like that based on my experience with video games.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kingdom Hearts especially does it well, like when you visit all of these different worlds and then you're this different being in all of these different expressions of the universe, you know? So it was a really deep, beautiful experience.
I think I first off, I love that game. Absolutely adore that game. It's so much fun. I cried during that last segment where they're like resolving all the plot lines. I'm like, oh my god! But when I got that experience of like, I'm controlling this. Am I just like a cog in the machine? Kind of like, am I an NPC?
Yeah.
When I played The Sims.
That's exactly
That
what I was
was
going
it.
to say.
Oh my
The
God.
Sims, yes.
When I always used to, you had to pick up the mail, go inside, move the characters around, right? And when I moved here, they used to throw like the mail in the yard. I went outside, I picked it up, and I went, no.
You're like, I'm not
was like, oh, I'm a sim. It's like the amount of time that people had to watch this sim play The Sims would suck.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh god.
They're like podcast mode now. Like whoever's controlling us, podcast time. I got my little bopper over my head.
So fun. You brought cards with you.
Oh, I did. I was gonna pull a card for you both.
Oh,
Whoa.
dang.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Here, pass it over. It's a little far. Okay. So basically, the concept of oracle cards, it's really beautiful. It represents that whatever card you receive is the message that you're supposed to get at the time. It's so interesting because one of the first times I ever used an oracle deck, I was actually going through a really bad breakup. And I had just bought a deck, and actually I had gotten a reading right after I got the deck, but I didn't open the deck yet. And in the reading, the woman told me, without even telling her I just bought an oracle deck, she literally told me, the answer that you're seeking is in the deck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh my god.
So
Very specific.
I literally had chills. I went home that day. I literally shuffled the deck. It was 52 cards in the deck. And the card that I pulled said, let go of toxic relationships.
Wow.
And literally every single message in the deck was so different, you know? That was the only card that had to do with relationships.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And you let it go?
Yeah,
You said,
I did.
"See ya."
I did. I literally did.
Good.
I'm happy I did.
Good.
A lot of
I'm
growth
happy
from
for
that.
you.
Yes, relationships are definitely our biggest teacher.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot that you learn from that stuff.
I'm going to pull a card for you first.
Matt goes
spooky.
first.
Ooh, you got this cool card. It's called the Blessings of Al-Kahim. And actually with this card, it's funny because it kind of matches your
No
outfit
shit,
a little
looks
bit.
like a shirt.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it really does!
Yeah, Matt's wearing the tie-dye shirt.
What this card represents, it's really like a blessing of transformation. It's really about you stepping into confidence, stepping into your power, and just trusting yourself. And also finding your own grounding in your faith, too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
That's so crazy.
I gotta buy you a new leather jacket and some sunglasses. Nah, that way you be cool and confident.
No,
you be riding.
That cool. I'm cool in my own.
I'll buy you a cool. Yeah, perfect. I'll buy you a cool fluffy jacket.
Okay, let's see
Some
what card
unique
you got now.
sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
I won't dress you up like Tony.
Tony could be told.
It's so interesting. You got
Whoa.
the card, the Dance of the Divine Feminine.
Whoa. That makes me think of the bird with the crystal plumage.
But what this card represents, it's actually about tuning into your inner feminine as well. I feel like especially since you have a child now too, you have to tune in a lot into your feminine energy and into this motherly role. And it's so interesting because you even brought up your mother during this podcast as well, which is the feminine is intuition. So it's not directly ooh, I'm gonna dress up in a dress and be feminine, but it's I'm gonna tap into my intuition. I'm gonna tap into this deeper aspect of myself, my connection to my mother.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Big time. Today I had a weird feeling my mom always gets. She just goes, hey, I'm having this weird feeling. And later on she'll be like, oh, this is what it was. And I was having this weird feeling. I'm like, something's changing. I don't know what it is. I'm like, something's changing. And then I got news of something in terms of my work life. And it was maybe only a few hours after that. I even
your intuition.
You posted it on our Discord. Yeah,
I posted.
You had a sense. Yeah.
I said in Discord, and then right after, I'd love to embrace that side of stuff more. Seriously, because my mom was very much trying to push it away and I would love to embrace
That's
that
really
stuff.
powerful. Yes,
That'd be cool.
I wish I had.
Can you do him?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I wasn't sure if he could hop in. I wanted to. Okay.
Him is Dan. He's off to the side. He doesn't have a camera today,
Yes.
but he has a heart.
Oh.
I feel it. Unless the Heartless took it. Ooh, the card that you got is the Lover and the Beloved.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You better still be switching.
It's interesting because this card is usually about you like merging with another person romantically in your life and finding a good balance in your relationship, but also like in the concept of this card, it's also about like allowing yourself to be loved, you know? It's about surrendering to the aspect of love, and it's also so in the same way about you finding your own inner self-love so that your relationship can be full as well.
Keep an eye in.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, that was good. Yes.
I got it. That was cool.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you
was
very
awesome.
much for
Thank
that.
you.
That was awesome.
That was fun.
Christine Chan?
Oh, you're gonna take 5.
So we every episode we talk about this character.
Ever heard of Christine
a
Chan?
real life person.
Or Chris Chan?
Who's that?
Previously
Christine
Chris Chan,
Chan.
now Christine Chan. They've come out
From
as...
4chan?
Oh.
Yeah, they were on
Yeah,
4chan.
technically, yeah.
Yeah, they were on 4chan, and
Oh, okay.
so unfortunately, Christine Chan is currently going through a trial
Yeah.
for having sex with her mom. I have to
no.
explain.
Yeah.
Like it he's identifying as a she,
Yeah.
but in the past as a, so it's like, yeah, it's her mom,
Yeah.
but the way they were intimate.
I think this sounds familiar for some reason. Like, I feel like there was like an Instagram post or something about this.
Yeah. So what we always like to do is see what, it's been 39 days since he claimed he was Jesus.
He's a very interesting person.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've definitely
There you go.
seen something about this person.
So we read the Today in Christery. Usually, every stream we read like Today in Christery, and then sometimes the quote of the now. If it's not too big, this is a big one though.
I love the Sonic, the images with Sonic.
Yeah, it's all the drawings.
Him with Sonic.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah.
So I guess whatever happened with the trial is never going to see her mom again.
Oh my
which
God.
Is probably
For the best.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still sad.
Yeah.
But Today in Christery, Matt, would you like to read it?
Today in Christery in 2009, an unknown troll placed Chris's car for sale on Craigslist.
And yeah, Chris created the character Sonichu, which is like Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu together.
Oh my god, that's
And
so
then
funny.
The license plate was also Sonichu all the time.
Wow.
Holy moly.
She's a very strange character because like you feel bad, but she's done so many just
Yeah, like
awful things.
she hit people with her car with her mom, or had her mom
Yeah.
run over people with her car.
They ran over somebody,
Some
almost
mace-
hit him twice.
or
Yeah, pepper sprayed somebody in a
face.
GameStop
Wow.
because she was changing the color of Sonic's arms on a video game box.
That's wild.
And they're like, "We're gonna call the cops on you." And she goes, "Don't tell anybody." And she pepper sprays him in the eyes.
oh my god.
Yeah.
what a creature being.
Yeah.
Person.
So
Blessings to you.
I
wish you
agree.
healing.
I agree. Blessings and just
I hope that after all of this is all said and done
Something
with her
better.
jail sentence, hopefully it awakens something in her that
wishing something
Do better in
for
her life.
Christine. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
not
Less
listen to
weird
people on
stuff,
the
more
internet.
happiness. Just-
Yeah, better thing.
Exactly.
and less Rick and Morty because when Christine found Rick and Morty, that's when she's
Oh.
like, this universe is C this number, my universe is C this number, and I'm in my comic and I'm a god and I time travel. Then it was like, oh no.
Oh wow.
Like she got way too lost in the songs.
Definitely off the rails.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys ever seen Midnight Gospel?
No,
No.
I've been hearing good things about it. Is it really
You
good?
literally need to watch that because I feel like I'm in an episode of Midnight Gospel
Really?
right now.
How old is that?
Look it up right now.
Yeah, of
Midnight Gospel.
That's a new Netflix show.
It's on
yeah.
Oh, it's new?
It's
Yeah.
not new.
Or
Oh,
really? It's an older
it's
show.
older.
Gospel.
But so basically they took a cartoon.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they took.
Oh,
Yes.
I was thinking of Midnight Mass.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah. Oh my
Okay.
God. Yeah. No, this show is really good. Yeah, I've seen.
You
this
watched
show.
this?
This has been interesting. I didn't watch all of it, but yeah, it's neat because
but-
they do podcasts.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly
What?
And then they
what
animate
is.
it.
They take an animated podcast and they turn it into these cartoons, but there's such deep like experiences like in this cartoon, but you have to like watch it to get it. Like
Yeah.
for example, in one podcast, he's like interviewing his mom about dying,
Yep.
and his mom dies.
Yeah, she had like
Yeah,
breast
she had
cancer or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yep.
It's like such an experience. It's really
Oh, it's Pendleton Ward. Pendleton Ward's awesome.
You have to watch it. You're going to
Yeah.
love it. I literally feel like
This
this
seems-
podcast can become the Midnight Gospel. Like, literally, that is you guys. Coming right up. The Lionsgate portal.
This is so interesting. So I've seen that character before. I knew nothing about this.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the show is neat.
And it's really deep. It's all about the universe, and he explores like different worlds and things like that. But it's
Wow.
all a deep concept about like existentialism, about like theories in the universe, things like that.
Wow.
It's gonna take you guys to the next level.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably watch it later.
Yes.
So wow, created by Pendleton Ward. Is he the one hosting it? Is it Pendleton Ward hosting or somebody else? Oh no, Duncan Trussell, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour podcast. Huh?
I could totally see you guys doing this and it taking off even more.
That would be sick. Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
we're
that'd
all
be
like
nuts.
these alien character beings, and then
Yeah.
we're like, woo.
We just use our bugging out
Yeah.
characters.
It would start. It'd be as ripped off from Midnight
Yeah, oh
Gospel.
my God.
Yeah. And I think just to be
I mean,
completely
yeah.
raw about
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
because I feel like the creator would love it too. He would be like, hell yeah, they're doing it. They get it.
Yeah. Especially if you have like cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, that'd be
Because
cool.
it's an ongoing conversation.
Neat. I gotta watch.
Yes.
Any other recommendations?
That's the main one.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't want to distract you.
Yeah.
Number one.
That's a good idea. I'd be like, oh, I got to check out all those once.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is like enough to dive into where you're just going to be like, wow, I get it.
So, where are you heading to next on your journey?
So actually, I'm going to Bali next month.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going with my mom, and we're going for a month.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes,
Dang.
I'm so excited.
Wow. So, what do you plan on
Yes.
just experiencing that area? And
Just experiencing,
That's awesome.
flowing, connecting to other people in the meditation community, potentially hosting retreats eventually, like, you
Yeah.
know, just building up my connections there, just experiencing and exploring. And like, I feel like I have this deep connection to Bali, like a past life. Hello, doggy, I've summoned you. Be careful for the...
Whoa.
I really did.
That was so
she
funny.
came right to me.
Yeah.
Hello,
Argo is so
buddy.
funny. Slid right
We
under.
just
It's like,
slid.
da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, being.
So I'm trying to increase viewership by being on screen.
This is your moment to shine. But yeah, I'm going with my mom, and I'm very excited. I feel like I have a past life connection to Bali as well, and I've had different experiences where I've done like past life regressions, where I've seen myself being in like an area like that, like Cambodia, like
Oh, wow.
Bali kind of area, and I've been to Thailand for a month already. So I'm excited to go to Bali and explore that deeper.
What do you feel? So you feel like you've had past lives and you like,
Yes.
so what
That's
do you
wild.
feel when you like think about it, or like what makes you be like, I think I had a past life here?
So usually an indicator that someone has a strong connection to past life is like you hear like the types of music, you see the attire, and it feels like so close to your soul in a way that it feels like something that you've already done before, even though you haven't done it yet in this lifetime. And I actually now host past life regression sessions as well. And in the past life regression sessions, it's so interesting because people are brought back to a different lifetime that connects to the lifetime that they're experiencing now. And they're able to kind of like come to conclusions about different things. Like, for example, if, they have a fear of water, a phobia of water, like maybe they drowned in a past life or something like that. And it's really interesting, these experiences.
That's wild. Dang. I got deathly fear of heights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So maybe we should do one and we'll see what happened.
That'd be nuts. That'd be crazy.
I want to ride roller coasters.
The only place that I ever feel like, oh man, I have to go like in my lifetime is Japan. It's the
Oh, that's
only place where
amazing.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to go for whatever reason, and I don't want to just explore like the touristy area. I want to see the town.
The whole town.
Yeah.
Get some legit sushi.
Yeah.
And try some of those crazy like vending machines that they have.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's the
They're
only place where I'm
awesome.
really like, I gotta see it.
Yes.
Oh.
Is there, so Matt, I forgot how you worded it, but he said like there's a certain way to tell how many times like you feel like you've been through something, like if it's a young soul or an old soul.
Yes.
Do you feel like there's indicators of that?
I would say that sometimes people just don't have the awareness of how many lives that they've lived. You know, and it's so interesting because a lot of the times when people go deeper on their spiritual journey, they do have this deeper remembrance, you know? And I feel like there's a lot of interesting concepts about that, you know, old soul versus young soul.
Yeah.
Like, but also too, when we think about like the beginning of the universe, right? If we all came from the beginning of the universe, then technically we're all the same age. We just have a different level of awareness, you know?
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. Do you remember what you were talking about? What I'm trying to bring up? So Matt,
He was channeling.
correct.
He was in the.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Matt said something along the lines of like, if you feel like excited about it and you're like, oh man, like in my next life I'll do this and I'll do that,
Yeah.
and they say you're more of like a new soul.
Yeah.
But if you're like, you know, I'm kind of like, okay.
Oh
if
yeah,
this
now I
is,
remember
Oh,
that conversation
yeah.
because we were talking about like, oh man, you know, I would love to live another life, and you're like, no, I can't imagine
Yeah.
living another
I'm
life.
like, I think I'm
After
good.
This I'm
Yes.
gone. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
There's this concept too with what you're gathering. It's like, okay, it's kind of similar to the concept of old soul, new soul, but it's more about the level of awareness. Like, I feel like you are at a deeper place of your spirituality and understanding of the universe. So it's not necessarily that you've been here longer, but just that your awareness is maybe at a deeper place than another person. And it's just because you've gone on that journey in a deeper way, you know?
Yeah.
So because of that, I feel the same in a lot of ways. I'm like, all right, like maybe not incarnate on Earth again, please.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's other universes out there and other experiences for consciousness to take on that I'm open to putting it out there to the universe.
So we usually end this podcast with ghost stories,
Oh, yeah.
but I feel like a lot of this
that
is-
was all good stories.
So do you have a final story to send off on?
I think like the one that's coming up for me right now is when I was giving a client reading to someone because it was such a significant thing for them. And basically it was one of the first readings I actually ever did. And I basically put on my Instagram, like, all right, I'm doing readings for people. Like, if you're interested, text me at this number. And it was my first time, like, really coming out and doing it for people that I've never met before. So I got a text from this girl, and I never met her before. She told me that she was from, like, Minnesota or something. I never connected to her. And her Instagram profile was private and everything. And we were like, all right, let's connect. So I get on the phone with her, and I had no idea like about what she went through, what she was going through, but I did sense like this deep sense of sadness coming from her, and I was trying to go deeper with it. And for some reason, in the back of my mind, I kept seeing a cornfield, and I thought it was so random that I just kept going on with the reading, and I was just like kind of bringing up random pieces and things like that, more like tapping into her energy. And she said the things I was saying was accurate, but she was like kind of looking for something else. And then in the back of my mind, I heard, just say it. So I said to her, I see a cornfield for some reason. As soon as I said that, she literally starts bawling, crying.
Wow.
And apparently, 2 weeks before, her best friend was murdered in a cornfield.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was able to like bring through this information, and it was just really powerful. And through that experience, I learned to trust what I'm sensing and what I'm feeling, because so often you could start to doubt yourself, you know, like you could have these sensations, but if you get in the mind of like, okay, this isn't real, like, then you never know if it's real unless you say it, you know? Like, in our society, we've been put into so many boxes where we feel like kind of judged if we say something that's not right, you know? Like, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to have these different feelings, you know? But it's even better when you're able to communicate that and share with other people, because you don't know who will resonate with that, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool. Tell everybody where they could find you.
You can find me on www.intuitivealicia.com or on Instagram, Alicia Munian, and Facebook as well. And I'm hosting retreats. I have my own intuitive mentoring program. There's experiences down in Costa Rica. And while I'm here in New York, I'm actually doing a UFO meditation that I would love for you guys to be there for.
That would be awesome.
It's going to be next Friday.
Okay.
Yes. So
that'd
that would
be
be
cool.
incredible.
That'd be sick. Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, and so I'll be in New York until September, and then I'll be off to Bali, then off to Costa Rica, and wherever else the universe brings me.
Wow.
Yay.
Do you like if someone reaches out and they feel like they need a reading, are you like...
Yeah, I do readings through Zoom.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
I still do my mentorship program online as well.
Okay, cool.
Even when I'm here, sometimes I mainly do them through FaceTime just because I have a really busy schedule, but also to protect myself, because I've had like situations with like clients reaching out to me, like with older men that want to like hang out with me.
Oh, I see.
Stuff like
my
that.
God.
Yeah, that makes sense. That took too long for me to click.
Exactly.
I was like, what? And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like not ghosts, like actual creepies.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like just
Makes
protect
sense.
myself.
Yeah.
I mainly do them through
That's smart.
FaceTime and stuff. Exactly. But if I know you through like a friend and stuff, like sometimes I do in person as well.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us.
you.
Very much appreciated.
Yay. Thank you.
Of course. Anytime. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Yay. And sending some love to Mark right now. Traveling.
Yeah.
He's on his way back.
Traveling the West
Yeah.
Coast.
Yeah, he's coming back soon.
Oh, yay.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, do us a favor. Like the video.
Please.
Check out all of her content,
Dang.
what she does. Check out her
Reach out
pages.
to her, hit her up.
Yeah, and if you
But
feel
not in a
like
creepy way.
hit her up. Just
I
don't.
feel like just because of that, I will get some creepy.
Don't ask her her location.
Yeah.
Just if you watch this podcast and something about you was like, man, that was weird. Like I really strangely like needed this
Connected with
podcast
it.
or connected to it. Reach out and talk to her. Or if you want to continue the conversation, we always hang out in Discord. You can hang out with us there
my
too.
God.
Much love. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you very soon.
Yay. Thank you. Thanks, guys.